y'all. My name is Jasmine Jones, and I am a licensed clinical social worker. And you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild. And this is a little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. Today we are reviewing Abbott Elementary Season 1. So we're just going to give a brief overview of the characters and like the mental health things, and also like some stuff that I hope to see in Season 2, because apparently it's going to have 20-something episodes. And I am sipping on some random coffee flavored liqueurs and Kahlua and some latte stuff I had in the refrigerator. I was like, you know what? It'll get me pepped up and also fucked up. So I am not upset about any of that. Okay, so we're going to focus on the 6 main characters. I have them on my computer because I don't know nobody's name. I can't remember nobody's name. So we're going to focus on Quinta Brunson's character. Quinta, I think her name is Quinta. I don't know. Quinta Brunson's character. I apologize if I'm saying her name wrong. Janine. We're going to focus on Janelle James' character, Ava. Chris Perfetti's character, Jacob. Tyler James' character, Gregory. Lisa Ann Walters' character, Melissa, and Shirley Ralph's character, Barbara. And yes, I do have IMDb on the computer right here, so I can know these people's names. And then, of course, we give an honorable mention to William Stanford Davis for playing Mr. Johnson, the janitor, and also Zach Fox for playing Tariq. So yes, there you go. Honorable mentions. And of course, the children and the city of Philadelphia, which this show is representing, and the school districts of Philadelphia, and so on and so forth, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to start with the characters that are from least to most seen. And so let's start off with Ava, the principal. Now, Ava is like, she's the around the way girl. She's the hood girl that is smart and knows how to finesse her way up in life.
I go to the same church as the superintendent. Caught him cheating on his wife with the deaconess.
And she's the principal. And we start the show off with her just like, it seemed like she don't care about the kids, the school. She just there. She happy to have a job.
Another day in principal life. I believe the children are our future.
And she happy to be a leader. And we just like, okay, we see this in the first episode when she's buying like a poster over the school, and she was supposed to be buying the rest of the teachers, rugs and shit like that. And this show, let me just say before we really get into the characters, it really documents like the life of people in school. And I think this is one of the reasons why the show became so popular, was because it documented the struggles that school faculty have to endure, especially with being underpaid, not getting enough money for supplies, having to come out of their own pocket for supplies, and so on and so forth. And also the dedications the teachers have to their students, even though they're burnt out and tired. The good teachers are still out here trying, And there are also good teachers that are burnt out and quit, because a human being can only take so much suffering of others and themselves before they burn the fuck out and they say, I can't do it anymore. So, not judging any teachers that couldn't keep going. We're just human beings. We're not machines. So, she just like the roundaway, like, ghetto girl that is intellectual and also knows how to finesse the system. So basically, she found out that the school superintendent was cheating on his wife. And the school superintendent is played by, let me see, since I got to pull it up, Reginald Hayes. Y'all, I'm about to get names right today. And he plays Superintendent Collins. And it's so, I started following his social media after this, because I was like, this is whatchamacallit from Girlfriends. And I was like, oh, he's from Girlfriends and stuff. And I was just like, well, after I started following him, I was just like, you grew into the corny, dorky man that I thought you were on Girlfriends. See, people don't realize these actors put themselves in these roles. That's why when people be playing these roles too good, you got to kind of give them a squinty eye, like, really? Are you really that good at that role? Or do you have some kind of mental health issue that, is fueling the emotions for this character? But yeah, he grew up to be the dorky man, he just be posting these corny posts, and I just be like, oh, that's so cute. I'm just like, it's what I expected, but it's like, it's just shocking when you expect it and you see it and you're just like, okay, get it. Anyways, Ava found out that the superintendent was cheating on his wife, and so she finessed her way into a job. And, like I said, at first we don't think she cares too much about the kids or school or nothing, but slowly over time we see her building like connections with kids in her own way, like through her own enjoyments and things that she likes to do for fun. And then as she connects, like with the step show, we see that like she's making these connections with these kids, even though like as long as it doesn't have to do with anything structured around the school. And so she's capable of making connections. We also see that she has deeper issues as well, because in that same episode of the Step Show, we see that she is a caretaker to her mother or grandmother, one of her family members. I believe it's her mother or her grandmother. And they're calling because I guess something happened and she was in the home and she got out the home or something. Or she came to visit her at the school, something like that. I binge watched this in a day and I took some notes, so I'm not gonna be 100% with everything, but y'all gonna get the gist of what I'm saying. Anyways, so we see that she got some stuff going on at home and her family life and shit like that, but most of the time she's kind of like the comic relief. Like we're titrating character plots, so as the more we see the character, as I guess in any show or movie, the more of a backstory they have. So with Mr. Johnson, the janitor, like he is full comic relief. Like I don't see any character traits, but he's funny, he cracks jokes, he fixes the school, and like he's always on top of shit. Like he just pops up out of nowhere asking if stuff's trash. Like, and he got his own like Boyz II Men 90s R&B system for the electrical system at the school. Like, and then we titrate up to Ava, who we get somewhat of a backstory about her life and things she's experiencing, but we don't get a full picture. She just kind of stays surfacey, like that fun principal that's doing stuff. And towards the end, she does, like in the last episode, she does attempt, even though she's not as educated in this field. Now, she ain't stupid. She's just not as educated in this particular field as a principal should be, because stupid bitches don't finesse their way into this type of job. Okay. So she don't come for me. She's not a dummy. She just ain't educated in this field as much. So when she goes in front of the panel at the end to get more funding for the school, it's like it comes full circle. Like she gets funding in the beginning, then she spends it on herself. It's pointless funding. Pointless. And then towards the end, she has to stand in front of the superintendent and the board of trustees, or the board of education, and, defend the school's right to get funding. And, the thing is that she would have gotten fired if she hadn't pulled this through. Her job was relying on that, because apparently the principal divorced his wife and got with his mistress, so she had no leverage no longer. And so, we see that she cares about the kids in her own random way. I think she uses comedy. If I could say anything about Ava, is I think she uses comedy and random shit to not have to think about the shit she has going on at home. Because the little glimpse that we did get to see, some shit is going on in her life. Okay, some shit is going on in her life, and I just hope she and her family members are okay. Some caregiving stuff, some grief stuff, some stress stuff, some stuff is going on in her life, and like I said, I hope her and her family members are okay. She's also the harsh voice of wisdom. Occasionally she will just say it like it is, and in a way that makes fun of the other person. Like, when we found out that Janine had never been with anybody else, and she was just like, what are you talking?
You mean that you're like secretly Mormon?
No.
Oh, you should be, because you need more men. Can I get it?
So you ain't never been with you ain't never had sex with nobody else? And she was just like, no, why are you? She's like, ha! I was just like, girl, don't be mean. And so, if my book, these are the books that I am currently, yes, books at the same time I am currently reading. I figured I'd put these here, and this is the manga that I'm currently reading because, maybe people want to read stuff too, and things, and offerings to the peoples. And so, like Ava's, like I said, a pretty surfacey character, but there's room for growth and plot and plot development, character development and stuff. As far as mental health, like I said, it seemed like she got some shit going on at home, caregiving stuff, and she uses comedy to cover up most of that shit, because didn't nobody know that until that episode where, her whatchamacallit showed up and needed help. Okay, I forgot who it was. I'm sorry. I posted. Maybe if I can find a clip, I will. But most people seen this show already. They know. Y'all know. Anyways, let's see who's next. Let me look down the list. Let's go to Chris now, or Jacob. Chris is his actual name. His actual real name in real life. Jacob is one of the young teachers at the school. He's one of the young white teachers, and he tries his damnedest to be hip with these kids, and Janine has to keep pulling him aside and telling him, like, Jacob, you can't talk to them kids like that. The other white teacher is like, you need to come down to their level and understand what neighborhoods they come from and who they are. And the thing is that Jacob gets it. He listens. He understands. So he's like an evolving microaggressor. And so he's evolving into somebody that understands and can see humans as human beings and not the stereotypes that he's read in the books that he's read. And they played this one close to the chest, because I literally thought that they was going to do this trope where he had a crush on Janine. I was just like, please don't let her get with this white man. Because we didn't know he had, so apparently he's gay. And they just brought it out in some random episode. And Janine was even like, why didn't you tell me you were gay? And it wasn't even about him trying to hide his gayness from her. He was trying to hide the fact that he didn't want to talk to her about her relationships. Because, when you start a conversation about your own relationships, the next thing to give the other person space is for them to talk about their relationships. And then you're spiraling into some conversation that turns into an argument, that turns into people not talking to each other for years. So I could see where, Jacob was coming from. But he's just like this. He's like Janine, but in an annoying white person way, so that even Janine is put off. Because he's just like woke to the overcompensation. He's woke in an overcompensating way. And it's so annoying. The random quotes from his books that he reads on black people and blackness, the way he tries to like sugarcoat, the kids' history in Philadelphia and all this other shit, and just so chipper and happy every fucking morning. And the way he just, is just trying to be everybody's friend. Maybe I just don't like people that can't get the hint to give people personal space. This man will not leave, what's his name, Gregory, alone. And at first it was Janine, and I was just like, does he like her? Why is he all up? But yeah, come to find out, he's a whole gay man with a gay husband. I think he's married to him, or boyfriend. I think he's his boyfriend. And he doing a damn thing, and he's like the voice of reason. He becomes like the voice of reason for Janine to discover that her relationship is trash, and we'll get to her. And so, he just seemed like this happy, chipper person that is, there's not much negative things going on in his life. He really wants to help the kids. He's really, just trying to be the best teacher he can be for these children at this school. He is more than slightly annoying with his aggressive happiness. And all of the things. But you could say the same thing about Janine, but we'll get to her. But yeah, so he's just like, there's not much to say. He's just really happy, really trying to help the kids, aggressively happy sometimes, just invades other people's space. I don't know. What would you call that as a diet? Is it, or is he just annoying? Like, some people are just annoying like that. Some people ain't got no mental health issues. Like, he wasn't people pleasing. Like, Janine was like searching for love and shit. He just was just extra happy. That's all I can describe him as. And yeah, him and his boyfriend seem happy. He just seemed like the happy white man that's just happy to be here. That's all I can. That's all I can describe. What's his name? I even forgot Jacob. He just, that's how easy I forget that nigga's there. Low-key thought he was into Gregory. I was just like, why is he all up on Gregory? But maybe he just really wants somebody to be his. I think he can tell that people are put off by him, by the things that, he says that are microaggressive, and people are exhausted with having to explain things to him sometimes. And so when this new young male teacher comes into the school, I think he just quickly attaches himself to him to try to see if this could create like, we're best friends, we're buddies, we're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Well, he's not colored, but Let's see. Who's next? Let's go to Melissa. So she like the bitch off The Godfather. Like, she over here, so she's a proud Italian.
You Sicilian? Italian? You from South?
Sicilian. I think she said she's Sicilian. And, she is like, so we get little peeks into her life, but not too much. She's divorced. She has the hookup. It's like, my mom used to work at the docks, and so we would always get random brand new shit because she worked at the docks, and they would be selling shit down there and stuff. So that's kind of like who Melissa is.
Worked Walmart demolition. I got a guy for everything. I know a guy right now working the stadium.
And it's funny, she got this little sweet little girl named Melissa, but she is a hardcore bitch. Like, she is very just kind of like a masculine, confident personality, and she don't give a fuck. She been teaching in the school system for however many years, and she know how to get stuff done if she need to get stuff done. But she does have some hang-ups about dating. So, there was an episode where she kind of had a crush on the the vending machine guy, the guy that comes and refills the vending machine, and she kind of wanted to like go out with him, but she didn't know if maybe she's past her prime. Maybe he won't like her. Maybe, so she calls her ex to try to figure out like why they broke up and if she's a decent partner and things like that. And their ex is just like, yeah, I think also to see if like she's over him, like if they're really done or whatever, even though they've been divorced for however long. So Melissa's kind of questioning her love life, and also she's older. She's like, I don't know, she's like she's in her 40s or some shit. So, she's a little bit older. And, you start questioning things because, especially as a woman, and I think it's anybody, it's like your body starts to change, your skin starts to change. So it's one of those things where you start questioning yourself. It's like Erickson's developmental stages and stuff. And so you get to this age where you just start questioning, what is it, generativity versus death? Are you proud of the things that you've done in life? Do you feel good about the things that you've done in life? Is there more that you can do in life in various different areas of your life and all these things? So I think she's in that space. And let's go on to Barbara. I think Barbara's in that space too. So Barbara is every stoic, wise looking black woman at a workplace, older black woman at the workplace. Now, if y'all been at a workplace, y'all know these women. They look like they rule the whole place, quiet as kept. They know everything about the place. They always try to give you advice about the place. And then if they're toxic, they can be know-it-alls, catty, petty, and so on, just like Mean Girls. So, but it's like it comes out of left field, because you don't expect it from someone that's older and postulates himself as wise and things like that. So she comes across as that, this wise motherly type and things, and she like also has her own stuff going on though. So Barbara feels the age thing. she's struggling. So all of them are struggling with just making sure their students are okay. So she's struggling to make sure she has enough supplies for her students. And then at the same time, she's questioning like her age and whether or not she should still be working as a teacher, and the new technology that's out and things like that, because they have one episode where they give the kids these tablets, and they're supposed to learn reading using the tablet and this program on the tablet. And she don't know how to use that tablet, but quiet as kept, nobody else in the school know how to use that tablet either. But she don't know that because she ain't asked nobody for help. She wants to do this herself. And of course, she don't want Janine to help her because Janine she is annoying. But we'll get to Janine eventually. And so what she does is she pretends to give all the kids good scores so she doesn't have to actually teach them from the tablet, and she ends up having to tell the whole school that she cheated because she didn't know how to use the tablet, and she feels old and she feels this and that. So it goes back to that generativity versus death situation. Like, am I where I need to be in life? Questioning yourself, questioning your age, questioning your knowledge and things. So she's questioning herself. And also, it doesn't help that she has a daughter who basically went off and did her own thing, became what she wanted to become. And, Barbara doesn't want her to do that. I think she wants to be a teacher or something. And so they have this conflict between each other because I think she wants her daughter to be closer to her physically, like living closer. And her daughter's just like, give us free. So I'm getting hints that Janine may be feeling like bereft or maybe a little bit lonely, without her daughter there. And so, and then she spends a good portion of her time trying to avoid Janine because Janine is over here with mommy issues and stuff like that. And I think Barbara can tell. I mean, she said it in the first episode too. She called her mom. I'm just like, oh. And so, yeah, Barbara's just like this, the black woman at any job, the older black woman at any job that just knows everything. She knows how to teach her students. She knows how the ways of the school and how it works. She's just a leader, and it's also, the thing that they do to black women in the workplace. This is how we start to become the office mule. Because we start to be seen as these never falling apart creatures that can take anything. And so they keep piling stuff on us. But I don't think that's the situation here because, they all working together and they all struggling equally. And so, yeah. Let's get to Gregory. Gregory, I don't know, y'all might be upset with me. I feel like he on the spectrum. So, after that whole episode about how he can't eat pizza.
All right, man, I can't do this. I just don't like pizza.
And he likes only certain textures of food and everything makes him feel, and that's not it. That's not just what I'm going off of either. So don't come for me because I know people can have sensory issues without being on the spectrum, or they can have sensory issues while having ADHD or some other, diagnosis. But more so, let's look at autism. So autism, they got high functioning and low functioning. High functioning used to be called Asperger's, but that was a man that worked with the Nazis and was experimenting on kids with developmental issues. So they changed the name from Asperger's to high functioning. And there's a lot of contention in the autistic community about labeling somebody high functioning and low functioning because autism is a spectrum. So what that looks like is, let's say, like, I'm going to list the symptoms, but so y'all can see the symptoms so I don't have to go down a list of symptoms. But basically, let's say that you have like a good ability to respond to social situations. Like you can read social cues okay. It takes a little work, but you can do it. But if you hear certain sounds, it's debilitating. Like you have to, like you're curled up in a ball in a corner because that is your thing. And you can have multiple things in that spectrum that are varying degrees of high and low and things like that. I'm just going to keep it at high functioning. The higher functioning you are, the less extra help you need in the world to do stuff. the lower functioning you are, the more extra help you need in the world to do stuff. Not to say that people that are super high functioning and maybe and don't have debilitating traits, you know, not to say that they don't need help, but they may need help more so, like, you know, whatchamacallit, a non-neurodivergent person might need it, you know, like love and support and all that other stuff. They don't necessarily need somebody to do the extra things that people that are maybe lower on the spectrum might need for them to help to get them through stuff. Like, I read this article where this one girl, she was talking about how, like, on the outside, if you were just looking at her, you know, on a daily basis, it would seem like everything was fine. Like, she was high functioning and she could talk to people and live life. But in her private life, like, she can't hold down a job. Because all of the sensory issues that happen when you're in the workplace and you have to keep on target, but you got this noise over here, you got all these people talking, you got all these tasks that you have to do at once, and you just have an overload. And so she can't hold down a job. And she was saying how sometimes she gets just so overloaded from masking. So masking is when you hide your not negative traits, but debilitating traits. So you hide the fact that you can't make eye contact by forcing yourself to try and make eye contact all day with everybody you come in contact with. You hide the fact that you rock to stim. So stimming is like repetitive motions that help self-soothe and stuff like that. And so you hide that. And all of that hiding builds up over time to where you can become emotionally and physically exhausted. It disrupts your neural network and things like that. So, you know, she gets so exhausted from masking all day that she ends up, you know, collapsing when she gets home from doing things out in the world. So it's like, you can't really tell because it's a spectrum. You don't know what people can handle. But I would say that based off just some of the things Gregory does, I just be like, he may be a high functioning autistic. Just his monotone voice, his flat affect, flat face, his persnicketyness about socializing, period. Like, when you talk to him, like what's his name? Jacob is annoying as fuck. But it's like if anybody talks to him for too long, he just like, I don't know if I can stand here and hold this conversation for that long. And I'm just like, okay, Gregory, go off, sis, you know. And so, you know, and then the whole episode where we learned that he eats lunch in his car, or he was in the very beginning, and then he started eating lunch in his car again because they were trying to get him to tell them what kind of pizza he likes. And he described to a T what he didn't like about pizza. That it's sloppy, it's wet, it's nasty in his mouth. Like, these mouth fills.
Just don't understand the concept of having a bunch of ingredients just slosh around in your mouth. It's not just pizza. I've got like 4 or 5 things that I actually like, and I just stick to those.
He was describing, and he described all the other random mouth feels that food gives him that he doesn't like. And I was just like, Gregory on the spectrum, he, you know, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I always say, like, I think that is evolution's process to get us to the next level, because if you can hyper focus on anything and become a billionaire, then I don't see that as a disability. I see that as an evolutionary process until eventually it gets the kinks out. Because no, there are too many positives that come with being on the spectrum that you can't just ignore that. Now, there are a lot of negatives. You know, people can't handle certain things, certain issues. Some people are so, you know, low on the spectrum that they bedridden, or, you know, they're delayed and things like that. But, you know, people out here becoming millionaires and they be on the spectrum. So all I'm saying is, you know, you just got to watch out. Next million years, everybody gonna have superpowers. I'm just, what? So no, I don't think it's a big deal. I just noticed it. And I wonder if they will make it a part of the story. Or he'll just be this odd, quirky person. And that's okay, you know, as long as nobody fuck with him, shit, don't mess with Gregory. I like Gregory. I hope he end up with Janine. Don't fuck me over with this show and they don't end up together. This need to be like The Office. It need to span 13 seasons. It needs to be on again, off again. And eventually they end up married in the end because that's what they both deserve. I don't care, because at the end of this motherfucker, they had him going on a date with Barbara's daughter, and I felt the type of way. I was just like, for what? But you know, Janine is in a sensitive place right now that she needs to heal from. So if Gregory wants to stick his dick in some shit occasionally while she's healing, but they need to end up, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. No, because no, this is going to be my black K-drama. Yes, because Insecure ended. We're going to make this the new thing. And they don't have more episodes than Insecure ever had. I don't care. Come for me if you want to. Anyways. Hey y'all, it's editing Jasmine. Well, going to bed and then editing in the morning Jasmine. Ignore all of this. It's calamine lotion. I have a rash. It's not monkeypox. I just have a rash from regular old skin irritation. We are in my bedroom. I forgot to mention that Gregory does have some like life issues. So, you know, we got to see this amazing thing happen where they made Orlando Jones his dad, and niggas have been saying that is his secret love child since everybody hates Chris. I don't care. And so the fact that they brought them together and confirmed it for the black community, the black community, is magical to me. But anyways, his dad wants him to be a landscaper. And that also illustrates too that why I also think he's on the spectrum. So there was this whole episode where Jacob and Barbara decide to do a garden together, but they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And Gregory is just like trying to prevent himself from helping them do it right. And it's like he can't stop himself. Now, part of that, it sounds like, is trauma. So his dad has this issue and wants him to be a landscaper, doesn't understand why he wants to be a principal. It's just all kerflumpled about the whole situation. And Gregory is questioning, like, even having conversations with his dad. And and then he keeps telling Barbara and Jacob no, that he's not going to help them garden, while secretly going behind their back and helping them garden because they're not doing it right. And I'm just like, is that a fixation? Is that an uncomfortableness to, you know, the way something is organized and done?
Crap. Jacob and Barbara have no idea what they're doing. He was trying to plant a coconut in West Philadelphia in soil with a sub 6.3 pH.
I swear this man is on a spectrum, and I hope they do a whole, like, plot about him being on the spectrum, because representation matters, and I need that for myself. I do. I don't care. And so, he has this issue with his dad. My cat just, every time, I think she's just wondering, who am I talking to? I don't know. He has this issue with his dad, and it gets resolved a little bit. Like, he figures out how to set boundaries by the end of the season. And so basically that's when he decides to be a teacher. So when we're talking about, like, you know, his background and subplot of his life, that's another thing that is an issue, is his relationship with his dad. And like I said, it was amazing to see Orlando Jones, even if it was a FaceTime and wasn't an actual, like, him on the screen with them at the same time, which would have been even more amazing. But who knows? He's probably filming something right now. Who knows? But the fact that they were just able to do that was magical. They look exactly alike. And if they turn out to do a blood test and they're long lost cousins or some shit like that, it would just, chef's kiss. Magical. That's Gregory. He's a new teacher at the school. He wanted to be the principal. He applied to be the principal. Superintendent Collins even said that he did great at his interview, and then he found out that Ava basically finessed her way into the job. But I think towards the end, you know, I think he started to grow affection for, like, Ava and the rest of the teachers. So he started to contemplate becoming a full-time teacher at that point. He was just like, I mean, he got time. He could become the principal, maybe if they want to get rid of Ava's character, which I don't think they should because she's funny. But he could. It could happen. It's still time. So, and then when we start off, he obviously has this crush on Janine. He's constantly staring at her, constantly trying to help her do shit. And you're just like, oh, they're going to have little brown babies. That's going to be magical. Yes, I don't care. And then the audacity to go on a date with this motherfucking bitch. I don't care. I mean, but Janine was in a relationship, a situationship that lasted most of her life. That's what I call it. It's a situationship that lasted a good portion of her life. And so, let's get to Janine. So Janine I think she's a new teacher at the school. And she is just happy and chipper and wants to fix. She's a fixer. And they can be highly annoying. But, I'm also a fixer. And I've had to work on that shit. So I can't really say I'm they. When I say they, I mean I'm they. Because she just wants, she wants to get carpets for the kids. So she ends up getting the money for the carpets. And this bitch, Ava, ends up making a poster board. So then, Melissa helps her get the carpets from this guy she knows. And so, that was cool. That was okay. But then, she tries to fix the lights. Even though she's not the janitor, she's not an electrician, and ends up shutting off the electricity in the whole school because the electricity is horrible. And the janitor has been keeping the electrics on by a thread, literal threads. And the electricity box, whatever it's called. I don't fucking know. And, she just be doing stuff like Barbara be trying to like tamp down her belief that she can do everything. But Janine will not be stopped. Janine will figure it out. Janine will do stuff. And Janine got mommy issues. So basically she just attaches herself to Barbara in the beginning of the school year. And she basically is telling her like, oh, I just enjoy your aura and who you are as a person. And then she calls her mom. And I was like, oh, what was that about? So we didn't know at the beginning, like, what that was about. And this need to fix and do, she ends up fixing certain things. And I think she's a needed resource in the school because everyone else is at this place where they've given up. Like, teachers have quit.
Because they are covering underfunded, poorly managed public schools in America.
People are burnt out and tired. Barbara didn't even believe that the rugs could be got, but it happened. And Melissa, she could have been asked this dude to get rugs. So it took Janine, like, going through all this and being sad for you to ask dude to get the rugs. Like, let me know what's up, girl. Like, I'm confused. So I mean, Janine is a needed force. Sometimes when shit looks like at its worst, you need somebody to come in with that new energy and new ideas to be like, no, we can fix this. We could do. So I think she's needed in this space, but at the same time, I think she needs to chill out because she's in this romantic relationship because she's a fixer. So she been dating, what's his name? Tariq. She been dating this nigga forever, since high school. She's never dated anyone else, never had sex. And, there's nothing wrong with that if it works out, but, and it can work out. People can learn themselves with themselves and can learn what they like and what they don't like and work through their relationship. I know somebody from high school that I think is still married. At least it looked like they still married on their Facebook. And so, I get it, but like at the same time, it's like for the majority of people in the world, you need the extra experiences. You need to learn yourself. You need to go through all the developmental periods and learn the things you need to learn in those developmental periods to get you to a place where you feel comfortable with who you are as a person. And a part of that learning is who you are in relationships with, because it's trial and error until, you figure yourself out, and then you will attract the person to you that matches who you are, who you've grown into. And she has not allowed that to happen. So Tariq has been a child this whole time while she's been growing. She has the motivation and the gumption to grow her life in certain areas of her life. But when it comes to her relationship, she does not know what to do with that. So Tariq is over here. He's a SoundCloud rapper. He's jobless. He's jobless and drives her car. He's like Baby Boy, but with less of an attitude. He plays that like dumb gaslighting where he's like acts dumb and doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about and just has the, I'll do. You're just like, and she just be so upset with him. I'll just be like, girl. And people were posting about this nigga talking about, yeah, that's right, what Jacob said. Sometimes people grow up hard, and no, nigga, people don't grow apart. Some people learn to overcome the shit that they've been through and the low feelings that they feel about themselves and are able to move on from that. Other people stay stuck in that shit, and that's where Tariq is, and Tariq knows that's where he is. And he's taking advantage of Janine because she's clearly telling him the things she doesn't like, and he acts dumb like he doesn't hear what the fuck she's saying. Like she telling him that we need to go through the budget because I need to pay rent, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll read the thing you left, whatever, girl. And I'm just like, girl. So Jacob is in his daily carpool with them, and he just is like looking at them because Tariq is excited because he gets to do this little rap song for their little dare thing that they made up on the show. And he's just like, well, what, this could blow me up. And I'm just like, he wants so little. He wants so little to take him so far. And I'm just like, go off, Tariq, whatever. And so, like, this is the episode where she finds out Jacob's gay, and Jacob just tells her, like, oh, no, sometimes people just grow apart, and da-da-da-da. And, at the end of the season, Tariq is telling Janine that he basically got this, deal to tour his little school rap, whatever, across New York. And he wants her to quit. And good thing you can quit your job now and come with me. And she's just like, what the fuck? Like, are you not clocking that she enjoys what she does? This is her joy, her happiness. Like, she not just doing this. She didn't go to college for however many years. Like she wasn't just doing that waiting on you to figure your shit out. She was doing that because she enjoys teaching. And I'm just like, this nigga's he is not it. And I was so happy when they broke up at the end.
Tariq, I think our lives are going down different paths. I think we should take a break.
And I was like, she's going to heal from this, and she's going to flourish, and hopefully she goes to therapy and works through all of the things so that she can live long and happily with Gregory. Yes, I don't care. But yeah, so she got mommy issues, and we find out later in the season that basically her mom is just absent. Like, she doesn't respond to her text messages. She barely answers her ever. And it's been like that for most of her life. Her mom has just been absent in her life, like neglectful, like a neglectful parent. Like, she's there taking care of her, like keeping her alive, but she's neglecting her emotionally. So basically, Janine feels abandoned by her mother emotionally, and so she attaches herself to these little problems. So, it's trying to be like, so what you do when you've been traumatized is you feel like if you can fix this thing, then that will fix the relationship you had with your original, traumatizer. If I can have a happy relationship with this person, then it will fix the feelings inside I had about my mom. It's like, that's not how it works. No, this person, you just attach yourself to somebody that's broken, and not gonna fix themselves, because Tariq's not fixed. He's just looking at the next thing and the next thing to make him feel better temporarily. He's not fixed. So she's just like attaching herself to broken things because she feels like she doesn't deserve more, because her mom basically treated her like shit. And so, she got this job at this school. She's trying to find everything to fix. She overly attaching herself to Barbara, and Barbara is feeling the type of way too, because Barbara's daughter comes and visit, and they're like connecting. And I hated this. I was just like, because Janine kept walking in the room while Barbara and her daughter were connecting, just interrupting them and trying to be involved. And I was like, Janine, you got a problem, girl. You need to leave her with her daughter. That's not healthy. So you know what? Janine's not ready for a relationship at this point in time, because she's too clingy, she's too fixy. She just got to work on some shit first. And I feel like if her and Gregory got together now, it wouldn't work out either, just because Janine is a lot. She's a lot emotionally, and Gregory ain't got much to fix. Like, he got his quirks and shit, like, but she ain't gonna make that nigga eat a pizza. He just, but he's a nice person. He cares about people, and he figures it out eventually, like with the drawings in the class, and the kids were giving him their drawings, and then his class was empty and wasn't decorated, and he was fixated on the idea that he is temporarily there because he's a substitute, and he's waiting for other principal jobs to open up. And Janine was just like, well, I mean, like, that don't mean you can't decorate the classroom. He didn't know what the kids were drawing him. So basically, they were drawing him these little pictures of him, and he couldn't put together. See, that's why I think he's on the spectrum, because he couldn't put together the little circles when he looked at the pictures to equal out a body. Like, you usually can tell when a kid draws a picture. He was just confused, completely confused by every picture. And I was just like, if you can't understand like social cues and facial expressions, if you have a hard time doing that, why would you be able to recognize the shape of a body in a picture? You know what I mean? So he figured it out, and he decided to put all the kids' drawings up on the wall and stuff like that. And it was just like, that's cute. That was cute. Like, ain't much wrong with Gregory at this point that I'm seeing. Like, he got some quirks and shit that could be deemed annoying if it got in the way of a potential relationship with somebody else. But otherwise, he just seemed like, he just quirky and shit. He just got his likes and his dislikes. Janine, on the other hand, she is just emotional, and she be going through stuff. And I mean, like I said, Gregory can go put his dick in whoever he wants for right now, because Janine's working on herself. But when she's done, because this is a show, this isn't real life. We don't wait on niggas in real life, because this is a show. I don't care. When she's done, they're going to get together and have little brown babies, little black babies. Magic. And so, that was everybody. And so, what did y'all think? An honorable mentions to the children of the show. They were so cute. And I watched some of the behind the scenes, like, videos and clips that they would post on Instagram. And then like, Quinta would be like playing with the kids or messing with them and stuff like that, and it would be so cute. And I would just be like, these are real kids on this set, just living life and doing stuff. And I'm just like, this is amazing. It reminds me of this documentary that came out like a few years ago. I think it was in the early 2000s, where they did go into one of these schools. I think there's a bunch of documentaries like that where they go into the schools and they film like a month at the school or something like that and show the depravity. But nobody like watches those documentaries to the extent that they're watching this show. Somebody said there was this whole controversy because somebody said after that school shooting that happened in Texas, they were like, you should shoot a school shooting episode because that way the world will be able to see what's going on and they'll care more. I'll play devil's advocate on that because it's sad that we live in that type of world, but it's not necessarily completely false that if they were to put a school shooting episode on this show, that it would affect people. But then at the same time, it's like, why? Like, we shouldn't have to tarnish something that's supposed to be marginally positive and funny and interesting by adding something horrible and terrible, and that would probably span the rest of the season. Y'all out here talking about we should do a school shooting episode, but the thing is, if they actually did a school shooting episode, that would be what the rest of the season was about. Because you can't just, oh, there's gunmen that came into school and shot 3 children, and then we got them, and then act like that didn't happen for the rest of the, like, you can't do shit like that. Nobody want to sit up here and watch, what, let's say they do it like episode 10 of the 20 something episode season they have. Let's say they do it episode 10, and then what, for the next 10, 11, 12 episodes, we gonna have to hear about how these niggas was, and how, what the kids is going through. I didn't come here to watch that. I came here to see wholesomeness. You should see it on the news, and that should affect you enough to change. And if it's not, then that means there's something wrong with you as a human being. Especially these lawmakers. There's something wrong with you as a human being lawmaker. You shouldn't have to want to see it on the television. That's dumb. On a show that's wholesome and nice and kind. You probably did that because they was black. This ain't SVU. This is a comedy show. This ain't like, this not like a sitcom where you have one of the main characters as a kid and they did drugs for the episode and wild the fuck out, and then the next episode everything's fine and back to normal. You can't do that with a school show. I'm set. Unless they had the nigga walk up into school and then they caught him before he shot anybody. But even then, it's like, why? I hope they don't do that next season, because it's 20-something episodes. I really hope she stands firm in what she said about not including a school shooting. But yeah, this show is amazing. You know, I used to work in schools as a school-based therapist, and basically everything them teachers are going through is real. I would be looking at them teachers when I would go up into them schools, and I would just be like, y'all out here heroes, because I could not put up with these kids. I have a short fuse. Like, my fuse is so short that when I'm in session with somebody that has anxiety, like obvious, like it's leaking from the pores, like it's a physical anxiety where they just fidgety and talking fast and shit like that, I have to start counting to 10 and taking deep breaths because I get anxious. I get anxious too. And so having a classroom full of kids that have all of these different issues that you don't even know about until you talk to them, if they even tell you about it, if you ever find out about it, all you know is that they have bad behavior. Some of these teachers don't even be trying. Like, not all teachers are good either. You know, like in the beginning of the series, they had that teacher that slapped that kid in the face. And, you know, you don't know how many kids that I've seen that have told me that their teachers have told them that they're stupid, they're never going to amount to anything, they're not going to college and things like that. So there are good teachers out there, and then there are really, really horrible teachers that are burnt out, or they're just plain old racist, or whatever, or a combination of every toxic thing you can think of when somebody is tired of working at a workplace. And for those teachers, I say quit, do something else, find another job. You don't need to be affecting the future of the world by making them feel less than, because learning just takes sitting down and doing it. Like just because somebody gets bad grades doesn't mean they don't have the capability of sitting down and intaking the work. They just need a little extra help in doing it. Like, it's not some complicated thing that is like, you're not teaching them rocket science. You're teaching them regular things that are part of a regular school curriculum. And if they want to learn rocket science, there's extracurricular classes and AP classes for that. I don't know what schools teach rocket science for AP, but you know what I mean. So, yeah. What did you think of this review? What do you think of Abbott Elementary? I like the show. I think it's a really good show. I can't wait for the next season. It's supposed to be this month, so that's why I wanted to hurry up and get this out so that I can be all ready and waiting for the next season. And yeah, let me know what you think. I don't have nothing much else to say about it. I mean, I think I did all the characters. This is kind of short. It feels short. I haven't looked at the time yet, but it feels short, so that's a positive. I thought it was going to be longer. But yeah, Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about the characters. And if I missed anything, let me know if I missed anything. And like, share, subscribe, and all the things, because, you know, monies is nice. And I wish monies upon all of you as well. And yeah, later days.